The news at 5. We begin with a campaign ending up in court. We could find out tonight if a 10th candidate will be put on the ballot in the August 11th special Republican Senate primary to replace Lindsey Graham. 3 candidates who filed to run last week were not certified for the race, but one of them, Danny Ford, sued late last week, arguing his constitutional rights were violated. And today there was an emergency hearing in the Richland County courthouse. Kiana Jordan, live in studio now. You were there for that hearing. Where does this all stand right now?
Yeah, Brian, well, Judge Daniel Coble repeatedly questioned whether this is truly a constitutional issue. During today's hearing, Danny Ford's attorneys argue the state GOP imposed an inconsistent qualification requirement that unlawfully kept him off the ballot. The party's attorneys argue that Ford has no constitutional right to be the Republican nominee and that the party has the authority to decide who represents it. Monday morning, Judge Daniel Coble weighing whether a qualified citizen can be denied access to the ballot. Danny Ford's legal team posing that question to Coble after the state Republican Party declined to certify Ford as a candidate in the August 11th special U.S. Senate primary.
Does the party have this ability to create a filtering system where there are these sort of last-minute qualification requirements that are added in that can keep people off the ballot? Does that violate my client's rights, and potentially does it violate the voters' rights to have a candidate of their choosing? So
Ford's attorney Brad and Skylar Hutto argue the party applied its rules inconsistently. They pointed to certified candidate Darlene Graham, claiming she has the same voting record as Ford.
There is another candidate who is certified who we contend has the exact same voting record. There was no other statewide election that they voted in, but they were qualified, and Mr. Ford was not.
You know, it took some time to fully grasp the situation.
Attorney for the state Republican Party argue the issue is not constitutional and should not be decided by the courts.
And that's not what the law says. The law gives the party discretion to determine who it wants to put on its ballot.
Ford's legal team says because political parties play a role in the election process, they must meet constitutional standards.
They become part of the state where there's a much higher constitutional standard for them to satisfy.
State Election Commission officials also testified that adding Ford back to the ballot could disrupt an already accelerated election schedule with early voting for the August 11th primary starting on Wednesday.
Should anything change, then we would have to prepare another set of ballots, send those out to counties.
This is not going to make me or break me on this situation. I plan on devoting the rest of my life to public service, and I look forward to that.
Now, Ford's attorneys are asking the court to order that he be placed on the ballot despite the tight election timeline. Now, Judge Daniel Coble requested proposed orders from both sides by 5 tonight and said he expects to issue a ruling shortly after reviewing them. In studio, I'm Kiana Jordan. Back to you, Brian.
All right, thank you, Kiana. Something to watch throughout.